Hello, greetings to you all from the Southern Cape. I'm Jenny Potgieter from OUTRAMPS. Last year saw some big changes in the OUTRAMPS CREW group. Our well-loved matriarch, Di Turner, stepped down at the beginning of the year. She had run the group for 28 years, starting with Protea Atlas, then moving on to CREW. I took over at the beginning of 2020. One can't say enough about the wonderful contribution that Di has made to CREW and conservation in general. She has created a dynamic group with a high work ethic and taught us all so much about our plants. As we go out hiking every week, we have covered many kilometers and recorded many plants. This effort cost Di 2 combis over the years. Last year, Di and Bill sold Strawberry Hill and moved to a retirement village. Thankfully, she isn't leaving us, and we work closely together. In the last year, we've recruited 4 new interns, which has brought the average age of the group down considerably. They are so keen and a pleasure to have in the group. The enthusiasm of youth is good for us oldies. As a contribution to their future, the other members of the group have sponsored their travel costs. A highlight for the OUTRAMPS is the honour of having plants named after us. There are 3 new plants, an ortholobian, a spalathus and an indigofera, that will be called OUTRAMPSCREW. Di, Nikki and Evie have Ceralias named after them, and Brian, 3 plants yet to be published. Talking of highlights, these are the amazing stats of the group on INAT. Total number of observations, 74,000. Species, 9,800. Nikki's contribution to these stats is massive. She's made 26,600 observations and 4,600 species. The biggest event of lockdown was the City Nature Challenge, where the garden route entered for the first time. Thanks to an excellent garden route core team, including our own Sandra Verlanger, many new people were recruited and trained to use INAT. And we did amazingly well. OUTRAMPS had a total number of 3,154 observations, and the garden route came second in South Africa and 10th globally, with over 17,000 observations. Our top 3 observers were Di, Sally and Sandra. Not bad for our first attempt. The special finds of last year were the new location of Lobostemon belliformis, 100 kilometers from the only other known location at Chorikwa. 2 new Ceralias, possibly a new Argyrolobian from Brian, which we will revisit. A big highlight in February was the prolific flowering of Gladiolus sempervirens, which is rare, on the southern slopes of the Outeniquas. It was 15 months post-burn, followed by good rains. Alerted to this by the WAGS hiking group, we made 3 trips to the site, including taking Jan and Annelies Flock to see it. There were hundreds of plants in full bloom, when usually we were lucky to see a few. Peter even travelled from Cape Town to see the spectacle. Another highlight is Sally's innovative lockdown quiz. Every morning at first light, it arrives on WhatsApp with 4 very difficult macro shots of plants or bugs to ID. It keeps us busy all day. Our overnight trips was one to Meyers's Rus in the Swartberg, which was unfortunately very dry, followed by a trip to the Kocher Wilderness. These were great fun and lots of hard work was done. A few of us managed a trip to Kleinmond, where Margriet was a huge help to us, showing us where to hike and giving us the names of all the marvellous plants. Baie dankie, Margriet. Our goals for next year, as always, Ismail gives us a list of impossibles to find, so we will aim to tick a few off this list. We've already found the first one, Crassula peculiaris from the Swartberg, thanks to Dave, and a first for us, as well as Nemesia elata, thanks to Carol, a new recruit. We will continue to mentor and encourage the young members and hopefully find new places to explore. Our HAT team, ably run by Evie, will hopefully come back with some new plants. We can always rely on Dave to find interesting new plants at high altitudes. He is doing sterling work on the Filicus. Let's hope we can get back to work soon. Best wishes to you all. I'll end with the Daily Maverick quote by Salem Badat. In Dickens's terms, the global COVID-19 pandemic and its economic and social consequences is the worst of times, the season of darkness, the winter of despair. And yet this crisis could also become the age of wisdom, season of light, the spring of hope, a time when we have everything before us. Goodbye to you all.